Years passed, and the name Anya became known across villages and towns not as just a poor girl who once studied under a mango tree, but as a woman who transformed education in her region. The tree that once gave her shade during sleepless nights of study became a symbol, a monument, to perseverance and knowledge. Under that same tree, she built her first school with scraps, hand-me-down books, and a determination so fierce, even the richest men in town couldn't rival it. Anya's schools multiplied. From one tree grew many branches. Her story inspired donors, volunteers, and even the government to contribute, but she always made sure her schools stayed accessible. Education for all, she said. Especially for those whose names no one remembers, yet. Then came her son, Tariq. Tariq was not like his mother. Where Anya had grown up with nothing but dirt floors, old books, and quiet determination, Tariq grew up with access to teachers, books, and shelves that never went empty. He had a proper bed, clean water, and 3 meals a day. But he also had something more precious, a legacy hanging over him like a shadow. As a child, Tariq would sit on a bench near the original mango tree and listen to the elders tell tales of how his mother studied there during thunderstorms, how she would teach 10 children with just one torn book, how she used chalk until her fingers bled. They expected him to follow in her footsteps. But Tariq wanted different things. "I want to be a filmmaker," he said one day. "I want to tell stories, Ma." Anya looked at him long and hard. She had a way of staring that felt like she was peering through your soul. But then she smiled gently and replied, "Then you must. But never forget why your story can begin with choice." It was paid for in full, under this very tree. At 17, Tariq left for the city to attend a media university on a scholarship partly funded by the Anya Foundation. He made documentaries. He interned in studios. He learned editing, scripting, camera angles. He was good. But even in the chaos of city life, something pulled at him. On quiet nights, he would dream of mango leaves rustling, of children reciting multiplication tables under the sun, of his mother's rough hands tying her scarf before heading to class. He missed it, though he never admitted it. His mother didn't beg him to return. She sent short letters, always ending with, "The tree is still here. And so is your seat under it." Years later, when Anya fell ill, not severely, just age catching up, Tariq returned home. The mango tree was still standing, its branches older but strong. Beneath it sat rows of students, laughing and learning. He walked through the classrooms his mother had built, now renovated with solar panels, chalkboards replaced with tablets, teachers smiling warmly in uniform. He knelt beside the original tree and whispered, "I get it now, Ma." Tariq decided to stay. But not just to teach like his mother. No, he picked up a camera. He began documenting the lives of the children studying under the mango trees across the region. He interviewed his mother, the teachers, the alumni who had gone on to become engineers, doctors, farmers, and builders. His first film, Roots of the Mango Tree, premiered at a national festival and won the People's Choice Award. Suddenly, eyes turned toward this quiet village. Donations increased. But more importantly, other communities began planting mango trees of their own, not just to eat, but as places to gather and learn. Inspired by the story, Under the Mango Tree became a nationwide movement. Tariq eventually founded the Mango Roots Initiative, a multimedia and educational nonprofit that worked hand in hand with the Anya Foundation. He trained students in both academics and storytelling, teaching them to use cameras, write scripts, and share the stories of their lives. One summer, Anya passed away peacefully under the tree where her journey had begun. Hundreds came to pay their respects. Her coffin was simple, just like she had requested, but her impact was massive. That day, Tariq stood under the mango tree, now carved with names of every graduating student who had passed through Anya's first school. "She didn't just build schools," he said, addressing the crowd. "She planted possibilities. And this tree? This tree is now a forest." The camera panned wide, capturing children reading under mango trees in every direction, their laughter echoing into the future. And so, the story continues, not with a woman alone under a tree, but with a sun, a camera, and a forest of learning, all rooted in one woman's dream. After his mother's passing, Tarek felt a strange silence in his chest, a blend of grief, awe, and responsibility. The mango tree, now protected by a circular fence and cared for by students, became a place of pilgrimage. Parents came to sit beneath it when they needed hope. Teachers would touch its bark before entering class. New students would be told, "This is where it all began." But Tarek knew the work wasn't done. One evening, while editing footage from a recent school tour, Tarek stumbled across a moment he had forgotten, a short clip of Anya talking to a group of students. She was saying, "Education must never become a fence that keeps others out. It should be like the roots of a tree, spreading quietly beneath the ground, making everything grow." That quote haunted him. He stayed up all night, pacing his late mother's old house, finally sketching out a radical idea. What if the Anya model could be adapted to other parts of the world? Places with trees but no schools. Within months, Tarek launched Mango Tree Global, a fusion of grassroots education, local storytelling, and digital empowerment. His plan was simple. Partner with underserved communities across Africa, Southeast Asia, and South America. Identify natural gathering spots, trees, courtyards, mosques, empty churches. Train local educators and storytellers to use minimal tech, solar projectors, tablets, printed booklets. Turn every tree into a classroom, and every classroom into a camera-ready story. He collaborated with NGOs, filmmakers, and tech companies. The first international mango tree schools sprouted in a village in Sierra Leone, beneath a baobab tree. Then one in Indonesia, beneath a banyan tree. Another in rural Colombia, under a massive ceiba. Each tree was named Anya Branch Sierra, Anya Branch Bagar, Anya Branch Cordoba. What made Mango Tree Global different was that every school had a story circle. Children, some of whom had never held a pen, were now writing poetry, performing plays, and filming mini-documentaries about their lives. One boy in Sierra Leone made a short film about walking 6 miles barefoot to class, which was later screened at a UNICEF event. A girl in Colombia interviewed her grandmother about surviving civil conflict, and now leads a podcast for children in conflict zones. Tarek didn't just give them books. He gave them voices. One morning, years into the project, Tarek stood under the original mango tree in his village, now designated a National Heritage Site. He was preparing to fly a drone to capture aerial footage for a new film titled Above the Branches. As the drone rose, he watched on screen as the tree disappeared into a pattern, dozens of trees, from across the world, all in one stitched video. They looked like a constellation, a map of light, shade, and children's laughter. Tarek whispered, "You did this, Ma?" In the 10th year since Anya's passing, the Anya Foundation hosted its first global mango tree summit. It wasn't held in a fancy city, but right in the village, under the tree. Delegates from over 20 countries came. Some sat on the ground, just like Anya once had, their laptops balanced on knees. Alumni spoke, now doctors, writers, farmers, software engineers. A girl named Halima, who once studied under the first international tree, delivered a tearful speech. "I never knew my mother. But Anya gave me one. I never had a home. But this tree gave me a world." Years later, Tarek, now gray-haired, stood beside his daughter Naima, who had just graduated from the very school her grandmother founded. Together, they planted a mango sapling in a new village far away. Naima placed a placard at its base. "This tree is not just for shade. It's for dreams. In memory of Anya, the mother who taught us all." As they watered the soil, Tarek looked up at the sky dappled with leaves and sunlight and smiled. They say mango trees live for over 100 years. Some say Anya's soul lives in every one of them, swaying with the wind, whispering formulas, stories, and quiet courage into the ears of the next dreamer who dares to learn. And if you ever find yourself beneath a wide tree somewhere in the world, and you hear children reciting multiplication tables beside a dusty chalkboard, look closer. You just might be standing on Anya's roots.